So this is my name is Sivasubramanian Paniswamy from Kalastering Academy of Research and Education, Tamil Nadu. Actually, first of all, I have to say thanks to Professor Praveen sir. He only gave me to share my research details in this our conference platform. Anyhow, my topic is effect of alkali treated on the properties of properties of acacia bark fiber. So actually, this is my research work. I'm the researcher in the university. So first of all, I'm moving to the introduction. So introduction, the recent environment law and ecological awareness in the global or creating the demand for biodegradable materials. So previously, many of the lightweight parts of the automobile industry is made up of from man-made fibers, reinforced plastics due to that attractive. So man-made fibers means automatically the attractive will be there. So attractive properties like the low cost, less density, easy to process, and even though the better mechanical properties in it. So, however, the synthetic fiber reinforced plastic earlier was that, but nowadays they are not motivating that synthetic fiber because of that. The disadvantages, especially in the terms of the environmental aspect. So, in that environmental aspect, the synthetic fiber creating so many problems in the environmental aspect. That's why. So nowadays they are replacing the synthetic fiber. They are moving to the biodegradable natural fibers. That's why. So nowadays the automotive and the allied industries are focusing towards to the biodegradable natural fiber composites. So earlier in this bark fiber, so natural fiber, the cylindrical fibers are different, bark fibers are different. The sisal fiber, we can say that the cylindrical fiber. Okay, this is the bark fiber we can extracting from the tree. Okay, so previously so many bark fibers, so many researchers are conducted by using that bark fiber, yielding the better thermal property, crystalline exorbitant properties, mechanical properties, and also that the fibers are extracted from the other sources. Okay, so recently the following the bark fibers they are already they are the researchers, some of the researchers going on, some of the researchers already done. So here I have mentioned some of the bark fibers, the Prosopis joliflora, Acacia leucophilia, Acacia arabica, Acacia planiform, Azadica indica. So these things and all, they are analyzed for the purpose of intention to check the suitability of the fiber as a reinforced with the polymer matrix. Okay, so because they are replacing the synthetic fiber, that's why they are moving to the different the bark fiber, the cylindrical fiber, natural fiber, bast fibers, so many things. So now I am moving to the objectives. So objective of this today's presentation to extract the fiber from the stem of acacia plant. Then to characterize and understand the fiber's different properties by suitable standard testing procedures. To locate the fiber among other possible fibers for prospective use of composites. Then to elucidate the physiochemical, mechanical, and thermal bark properties of acacia bark fibers, contextualizing and comparing the other previous investigated bark fibers. So first of all, after knowing that objective, we have to know what is the acacia bark fiber. So acacia bark is commonly they will call us a soap bark. The acacia is nothing but that's the botanical name. Okay, it's known as nowadays they are calling it as Senegalese acacia. Okay, nowadays they are based upon them some properties or something like that. They have changed the Senegalese acacia past 2 years back. Okay, the synonymous word is acacia. Before the acacia, it was instantia. This name was acacia instantia. So before that, some other name was there. So every 3 or 4 years, due to the climate changes or something like that, something, the name is changing. So like that only, the Acacia acacia nowadays they are calling as a Senegalese acacia. Okay, the highly exploited as a natural resources. The particularly, it is present in the different chemicals. The different chemicals means the steroid, antioxidant. So like that, so many the chemicals also is included. At the same time, the interested in the Ayurvedic, Siddha, and other medicinal purpose also, they are using this acacia bark fiber. Okay, this work is considered in the potential use of the bark of its a plant for extracting the natural fibers. So next we are moving to the bark fiber, how it's the acacia bark fiber, how it will be, how they are extracted. So here the first one I have shown that the science name, what will be the domain name, kingdom, all the things I have mentioned. The second picture is belongs to that the how is the leaf will be there. In this the stem will be after maturing, our stem will be like this. Okay, the outer the layer only we are extracting from the stem. Okay, so after manually by the sharp knife only we are extracting outer layer of the stem only we are extracting. Okay, so outer layer after extracting this one, after that we are drying. After drying, we are getting the fiber tissue like that. Okay, so after that, how we are separating from the tissue? So already I told you, this is the acacia stem. From the stem only we are extracting the bark tissue. So after this bark tissue only, we are getting the fiber. Okay, acacia bark fiber. Okay, so this is the acacia leaf, and this flower will be like this. So next we are going to see about the presently what purpose they are using this acacia bark fiber. So actually already I told you the botanical name is acacia, the common name is soba. So presently they are using is the good natural antibacterial and commonly used for burning sensation. Then the skin diseases, all the things they can use it. Even though in Kerala earlier, lot of peoples, all the peoples were using this fiber for that scribing for bathing. So nowadays, due to that the many things are happening. So some of the people still they are using. So last 10 years I was there in Kerala. So lot of people still they are using this for mainly bath purpose, scribing for bathing purpose. So this one, this exactly you can see it. This is the matured stem. This is the unmatured stem. Just I want to show you. That's why. System. Actually, the next one is extraction process. So already the first one is a manually extracted bar stretches from the stem. Okay, already I show you in the previous picture. So after extracting, what they are doing is they are shocking in the water for some hours. Then after that we will get like this. So after that only the third one is the fiber is arranged into the bundles according to the length. Based upon the length, based upon our requirement, based upon our research, we can able to now according to the length we can make it to cut it based upon that. So now I am going to move to the experimental activities. So here, this is the today my presentation is concentrated in the alkali treated. So already untreated already submitted in the journal. So this one, the second untreated fiber already submitted. It's under process of first review is over. The first revision is over. The second one is the alkali treated. So already I published in the MDPI journal of fibers. So here I'm concentrating in the diameter single fiber tensile test. So from the extracted the fiber, no? So I taken single fiber. So like our hair, something like that. So I extracted that single fiber for the purpose of the tensile stress. Then physical and chemical properties are conducted. Then morphological analysis. Then FTIR, functional groups. What are the functional groups are there? Everything I have seen. Then thermal stability. So in which temperature the thermal degradation is happening. So these things in the untreated also happen. So when I am explaining each and everything, I will compare with the untreated, and I will explain you. And even though the DSC also, so conducted. So now, so we are moving to the density. So here you can able to see that the first table, the density, the acacia bark fiber having a 1150 and 1200 is untreated fiber, 1150 is the treated fiber. So in this thing, you can able to see that the access of the suitability of alkali treated acacia bark fiber, and their use. Actually, this fiber they are using as a filler in the polymer composite. Okay, so in the same thing, at the same time, this was done the comparison with the limited evidence. So limited evidence obtained so far for the untreated acacia bark fiber. So actually, this is the first. Initially, I started the research. Then at the same time, in the particular measure the diameter density, average density of the fiber was 1150 kilogram per meter cube, slightly inferred to the value of 1200. So in this thing, so nearby the coir at the same time, Croa fiber having a nearly same like that. So in this table, so clearly I have shown the density value of the acacia bark fiber, those things and all. The high lignin ones only I mentioned, because acacia my fiber having a high lignin. You can see in that the chemical compositions. Okay, in this chemical composition, you can able to see that the hemicellulose. You can see in that hemicellulose, the slightly it is reduced. Okay, then after that, the hemicellulose and the general the loose matters also reported as a extractive. So when you are comparing the untreated and treated, the extractive values is 8.6. The alkali treated, I have taken the 5% of NaOH, sodium hydroxide. So here in the alkali treated, the loose, the extractives only two only is happened. So that's why. So what I am trying to say is, in this view, the introduction of the composite, the alkali treatment with a more concentration solution, more concentrations, more than 5%. So here I have shown the 5%. The more than 5% of concentration solution of the NaOH might be able to suitable. Definitely it will be suitable. So now the 10% and 15% and 20% is the process under the process. Okay. So next we are coming to the diameter. So when you are coming to the diameter, so we are extracting from the stem. Correct. Already I told you. From the extraction process, the fibers via mechanical stripping result is obtaining partially separated bundles rather than the recognizing the single fiber. So initially when I extracted the average diameter was 423. So the untreated mechanical strip. So when I treated with a 5% NaOH, I got a 372. So in that time, just I observed that the partial link of the fiber into the bundle was due to the presence of the loose matters. So already I told you this loose matters here 8.6, here 2. Based on the loose the matters was occurred. So that's why what I did is, the further I separated by the hand. I didn't go for the mechanical stripping. By the hand, I separated. And what to say? I separate the fiber. The average diameter in the untreated fiber is 127 micrometer. The treated fiber is 123. By using the the optical microscope, I have determined those things. This result is the diameter of the measurement summarized in the better clarity. So we have shown in the table. So next, so after that, after that we have to go for the mechanical testing. So for the mechanical testing, what I did is, so after extracting from the fiber, I have taken 125 mm of length of fiber, and the gauge length is 50 mm, and the crosshead speed of the 5 mm per minute. So before treatment and after treatment, both the time I have taken 35 fibers, and I have analyzed the mechanical property. Okay, so here the fiber were cut into the, already I told, the 125 mm to prepare the mechanical testing. Okay, so typically the here I have shown that untreated and treated fiber, the tensile test, the graph I have shown. So okay, so when you are comparing to textile fiber, textile means we can say that the flax fiber. We can say that flax fiber as a textile fiber. The textile fiber having a 1200 megapascal. Okay, so when you are comparing to the flax fiber, it is getting a less value, but at the same time, when I am comparing to with my fiber, treated and untreated, the treated fiber having a good mechanical strength, because the untreated we are getting nearly 852 megapascal. I am getting in the untreated mechanical testing. While when I'm treating say 5% of NaOH treated, I'm getting the 937 megapascal. So comparing to the untreated, the treated fiber, I'm getting the better result. But at the same time, when you're comparing to the other natural fibers, other textile fibers, it is getting the low. Okay, so this treatment result is some improvement in the ultimate load as well as the elongation. You can see in that table. You can see in the table the untreated fiber and 5% of NaOH treated fiber, the value I have given. The untreated fiber ultimate load and the elongation load I have reported here. So ultimate load at 10.8. At the same time, when I am moving to the 5% of NaOH treated, really we are getting the more than 11.4. At the same time, when you are comparing the elongation, 3.8 and 4.4. So definitely, if you are going for another concentration of that NaOH, so definitely it may increase. Definitely it will increase. Okay. So next, so what I'm going to say is scanning ultraviolet microscopy. So these things are all I have conducted only the fiber characteristics. Okay. So in this scanning ultraviolet microscopy, so this right side is the untreated, this is the 5% NaOH here. So what I observed is the bar shows the evidence of the layer. So each and everything we can able to see the layer. Okay, so bonded by natural resins like epoxy resin, polyester resin, or the vinyl ester. So whatever may be. Okay, these fibers are quite aligned. So you can able to see it. So quite aligned with some occasional kicks of waves. At the same time, when you are looking to the treated fiber, the ordered aligned of the fiber is conversely they are discontinuous. So you can look at this discontinuous in the bundles, discontinuous in the bundles. So after treating, where visible at the lower magnification. So visible at the lower magnification. Okay, in the particular considering the only some part of bark were adopted orientation of the structure. You can see that the structure, the orientation of the structure. Okay, so next we are moving to the differential scanning calorimetry, DSC analysis. By using this figure, so what I observed is, just I mentioned, I got two endothermic peak. The first peak I got that 60 degrees Celsius. Another peak I got nearly 150, 149. So first peak is nothing but there's a low temperature that is indicating the loss of absorbed in the water. So, okay. So at the same time, when you're moving to the 149, so 149 is carried out the the smaller peak is observed. So comparing to the 60 degree, this is the smaller peak. At the same time, attribute the rupture inner and intramolecular linkages in the loss of volatiles. Okay, the hemicellulose was possibly among those things. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about thermogravimetric analysis. So in this thermogravimetric analysis, the process started from 32,600. Okay, so 32,600. So some mass starting at the 60 degree only, 60 degree and reaching not more than 7%. Okay, then 250 degree was initially observed. 250 only, from the 250 only. So initially it is observed. At the same time, during the 326 degrees Celsius, it is revealed that the degradation curve. So here in the untreated fiber, so earlier I reported in the Natural Fibers, Journal of Natural Fibers paper, I got a 308 degrees Celsius. When I moved to the 5%, it is increased to 328. At the same time, when you are comparing to the oil palm empty fruit bunch, that also having 308%. When you are comparing to the oil palm empty fruit fiber, so this acacia fiber having a more degradation temperature. Okay, then next I am moving to the Fourier transformer infrared spectroscopy. Okay, so in this spectroscopy, you can look into that. Look into the first one, the first range, the 3231 to 3344. It is showing that the stretching vibration of the words. That is why it's happening is due to the moisture content where lignin, hemicellulose, and the cellulose percentage in the hydroxyl group. Due to the hydroxyl group only, the vibration, the stretching vibration was is happening. Okay. At the same time, the next one is nearly 2932 to 2994. So it is happening in the CH stretching. CH stretching vibration is nothing but the cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin was identified in the spectrum during this range. Okay, then when we are moving to the 1600 range, it is what to say, vibration. Sorry, what to say, aromatic skeletal vibration in lignin was occurred. Okay, so in this lignin only, this is possibly to enhance the enhanced due to the alkali treatment. Okay, so when you are coming to the 1300 something, it is a CH bonding of the cellulose. Okay, then when you are moving to the 1006, this is a short page. It is denoting I mean, it is denoting that COC clopidogrel ring. Okay, so in this thing, when you are going for the during by using this FTIR, we are not able to see the peak of correspondent to the backs were so not identified. No peaks are identified for the backs. Okay, so next is your conclusion. So conclusion is nothing but just I have shown that the one single point this work is proves that the fiber degradation, definitely the fiber degradation at the quite high temperature. So comparing to the untreated fiber, the high temperature, but might be need to chemical treatment to proceed their use of composite. So again, so not this is not enough. So just I started the 5% of NaOH treated. So now already the research is started for 10%, 15%, 20%. So let us see. Okay. So thank you so much. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can raise the questions. I'm ready to answer. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much to give the good opportunity. Really, I am very happy to attend this conference. Thank you so much, sir.